This is the Lockpicker 1969, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to this next episode in the Challenge Lock Workshop series, interview with a Challenge Lock picker. Today's guest is Trucking Lock. Say hi.
Hey, everybody.
So, how long have you been picking CLs?
I've only been picking CLs for about 3 months now.
Okay. So, how many CLs would you say you've tried overall so far?
So far, I sat down and I counted 23 different challenge locks that I've
Holy
attempted in
cow.
those 3 months.
That's
Yes.
quite a bit. So, you picked your first challenge lock 3 months ago. Do you remember what the name of that one was?
Yeah, the challenge lock was Rusty Ott, I believe. I don't know the exact name or who made it, but it was Rusty Ott sent to me by Picksmith.
Okay. Well, then it was probably pretty evil then.
Um, Actually, he sent me that with a couple other CLs as a beginner batch of CLs, kind of
Ah,
to
he
let
was
me dabble in it a
he
little
was
bit.
kind on you at first.
Yes, he was.
Did he send you any more after that and ramp it up a bit?
Um, I don't think he sent me any more after that. He had sent me three or four in that first batch, and then Sadistic Picker actually sent me a whole bunch in the second round of CLs.
Okay. So, on your first CL, what was that experience like? Picking your first CL.
Um, Intimidating. I did not at that stage of my picking, I was kind of unsure of my picking skill level, and I've seen some of the CLs that were out there, and I'm like thinking in my mind, this thing's gonna be brutal. I can't pick pins, all these custom pins and everything.
Uh-huh.
And uh yeah, that was my first thoughts in my head. Like I was just intimidated by the potential hardness of it.
Okay. So, you picked your first CL. You were intimidated at first. So, what did you figure
Yes.
out that you liked and what you didn't like about the challenge lock?
Um, that one in particular, after I found out that it was not nearly as evil as I thought it was going to be, it taught me a lot about reading what the pins are doing.
Okay.
So that I really liked that. Like it was a great learning aid, and it really kind of propelled me in my ability to pick locks.
Okay. So, I would assume that that first experience made you want to get your hands on more challenge locks and inspire you to pick more.
Y- Oh yes, definitely. After I got past the intimidation factor and actually started picking on it, once I picked that one, I love challenge locks.
Okay.
Like I want more.
So, what do you enjoy about them?
Um, I I actually enjoy the originality and the creativeness that some people really they I don't want to say go overboard, but it's like you have a lock that it's a whole presentation in
Yeah, a
itself, so to
theme.
speak.
A theme.
Yes, the themes to some of those are just absolutely brilliant, and the amount of work and dedication that go into them really shine through, and that's what I really enjoy about the CLs the most.
Okay. So, with 20 plus CLs under your belt, you must have an idea of, you know, what kinds of things you love seeing in them when you get them and what you enjoy experiencing in them.
Yes. The things I like to experience with a CL or see in a CL is uh at first I don't like it to be a brutal guessing game where you can't find a starting, or I don't like that whenever you can't find a starting point. What I like is when the lock actually starts talking to you from the second that you start picking it. It's like, no, not yet, not yet, not yet. Okay, now you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, yes, a straightforward pick might not be fun to some people, I enjoy whenever they really talk, even if they confuse me at times. I like it whenever they really talk and just let me know that at least I'm on the right path, or oh, now I hit a dead end. I have to kind of backtrack and figure out where I went wrong.
So you enjoy figuring out the method, and maybe perhaps not so much when it's a mystery.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right. So what kind of things do you not like seeing? So when you get a challenge lock and you first sit down with it, what kinds of things do you run across that immediately tell you, "Oh, I'm not going to have fun with this one"?
Whenever I cannot find a starting point at all after
The,
repeated
the
attempts.
first binder.
Yeah, there's been one challenge lock that I could not uh I just couldn't find where to get started. Like it was just like it was really hard to find that point. And then even after I did find that point, it was like every next step was okay, where am I going? Where like it was so hard it didn't talk is what the issue was.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And yeah, that's what I would have to say I don't like is whenever the locks don't talk to you.
Okay. Do you have a favorite challenge lock maker out of the so many that you've played with so far?
Yes. Yes, actually it's tied so far because it's depending on what I'm looking for at that given time. If I want a challenge lock that's a lot of fun, uh, it's kind of a straightforward pick. Sadistic Pickard sent me two that I really enjoyed. Those were really fun. And then if I want a little something to spice it up a little bit, Land Spy Key.
Okay.
I had two of his CLs, and they both were a fight. The one I actually did not get an open on, but the other one I did, and it was probably the hardest challenge lock I've picked to date.
Okay. So that lends an interesting question. So when you get a challenge lock and you've given it your best, but you enjoyed the picking of it, but didn't get an open, that's okay with you?
Yes, yes.
You're
There's
sad.
been
Okay.
yeah, there was a couple locks like that that I enjoyed picking on, but I didn't get the open. But because even though you don't necessarily get the open, it still makes you a better picker
Mm-hmm.
because now you're reading different things and you're seeing how the lock responds differently. So therefore, in future endeavors, you might have that in the back of your mind.
Okay.
You know,
So are there any challenge locks or challenge lock makers that you have heard about that you've not yet picked that you'd like to get your hands on?
there's a couple. Jay Gabriel. I would like to get my hands on a couple of his challenge locks.
They're evil.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, and I've seen some of his pin work. And even though I might not get an open, I think it would be a lot of fun. Your challenge locks. Um, there's a whole slew of people. DMAC, like there's just a lot of great challenge lock makers out there,
Yeah.
and over time, I just hope to get to experience everybody's challenge locks because I like to see what everybody has to offer.
Sure. Yeah. Personally, as a maker, I enjoy making them more so than I enjoy picking them. But um, yeah, the theme part of it to me is what makes it fun for a challenge lock picker like yourself to experience or to create an experience for the picker.
Right.
So yeah, definitely. That's what my goal is when I'm making one. So
And and as a picker, I can tell you, we can see the guys that put forth that effort to the guys that are just, hey, here's a kick cylinder that has some custom pinning and some core mods or some Bible mods. It's like we can see like the best. I'd say the best theme so far that I've come across. If anybody gets a chance to check it out, is Bandito Brandino's National Vacation. That was awesome. I mean, the paint job, everything, the little book that went with it. It,
okay.
it was it was awesome.
All right. Well, I guess I can announce this here. The theme I use is dragons. the books usually
Nice.
include a good deal of dragon lore. They're all dragons that are names out of the whole House of Dragon and Game of Thrones series of books, not the show, but the books. And
Okay.
there will be. I already, I kind of discussed this and ran this by Picksmith. I said, "Hey, I have an idea, something I want to do," and essentially, I've got 3 more that I'm in the process of working on right now. They're all themed with dragons, and when you pick one and can prove it, on video or photograph, whatever, then I'll have stickers to hand out, Dragon Slayer stickers, and it'll have the name of the particular lockout right on it that you slayed that. So
Oh, sweet. That's awesome.
that's
That's awesome.
that's coming. It's coming. So I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I'll be a dragon hunter.
All right, awesome. So, all right. I wanted to go into one last thing. And you can please go into as much detail as you'd like, but if you had any advice to give challenge lock makers, what would it be?
That's a hard question because there's a few things, but I would say the number one thing, I think that would attract more people to pick CLs would be if they could come up with a system of rating their CLs
Yes.
from like maybe a beginner to intermediate to like Satan spawn, because the one I had the privilege of trying to pick 2 different hairy bows, and the one I did get an open on and the other one I did not, and the one that I did not, I found out involved the use of magnets, which I had never tried a CL that had magnets in there. I was unaware. So it was like that was definitely really hard, and I would even say still that CL is probably above where I'm at as a picker.
Well, be prepared if you get a hold of Jay Gabriel's. His have a lot of magnets in him too, from what I've been understanding. So definitely.
Yeah, I know he definitely uses them. That's for sure.
So,
But
anything else?
uh, I think that would be just about it. Just because as a novice to challenge locks, it would be nice to know, hey, I'm getting something that's a little hard, or okay, this is going to be fairly easy, but still a little bit of a challenge, as opposed to not getting an open and being discouraged because of that fact.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, that would probably be the biggest piece of advice I would give CL makers.
Mm-hmm.
And when I make my CLs, which is coming up shortly here, I am going to actually color code mine either yellow, white, or white, yellow, or black. White will be easy. Yellow will be, it won't be that easy, and black that's going to be the hard ones.
Okay.
So that way you have an idea from me, when you receive one of my CLs, kind of what you're getting into.
Well, then I hope that you'll take advantage of one of the other types of interviews that I want to do in this Challenge Lock Workshop series. And that's for challenge makers who are coming out with a new challenge lock that they're going to release into the wild, to give them an opportunity to talk about their lock and explain, essentially what level picker that they're really targeting with that lock, so they can also create some interest and buzz for those locks that they're putting out there, and maybe even come up with a way that people can get on a list to receive it, along the way. So
I'll definitely have to check that out
Yep.
whenever the time comes.
Yep. So when you got one that you're done with and you're ready to put it out there, let's hook up and we'll do one of those kind of interviews and we'll talk about your lock.
Definitely. Sounds like a good time.
So, all right. Anything you'd like to say to our audience before we wrap up?
Never be afraid to take on a CL, even if you're unsure if you're going to get the open, because you never know. In all, challenge locks I think, can make you a better picker in the long run. So don't ever be afraid to take one on, and don't get discouraged if you don't get the open, because every lock teaches you something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you doing this interview and sharing your experience with challenge locks. It definitely sounds like you dove into the deep end pretty quickly, so that's cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've had some good mentors when it comes to CO though. I mean, Picksmith sending them to me and Sadistic Picker. Those are two guys that love challenge locks. So, it's I took their advice. I dove in, and I don't regret it. I love them now. So
Awesome. All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap this one up. If you are a subscriber, thank you. If you are not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications and all, and hit like on the video. And thanks for listening.